Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
Hello all, welcome to Ganesh IAS Academy. This is the special session. In this session, we will discuss about the previous year UPSC Economy Mains question. So, the major aim behind this session is to how to approach the mains exam, and also we will discuss about the terminologies like what you have to write when it is the question is about discuss. When it is about your opinion question means how to write it, and also when it comes to critically examine means how to approach that question. Okay, critically evaluate. There are different types of terminologies the UPSC will use. So you have to know about the meaning of that terms and also what you have to write on it. That is also more important because based on that terminology, the answer will vary. That is the most important thing you have to know, because you may know about the poverty, inequality, what is intergenerational equality, and also what is intragenerational inequality. So you know everything, but at the same time, if the question is about discuss means the answer will be certain different. When it comes to critically examine means the answer will be certain way in which it is different. So you have to know that. So first thing is we will discuss about, if the question is asking like discuss means what you have to write. If the question is asking about the evaluate means what you have to write. Examine means what you have to write. All the things will be discussed. At the same time, we will discuss about certain terminologies, about economic terms. When it comes to certain economic terms, like recently there is a news about the care economy. So what is this care economy? What is monetized economy? What is fiscal prudence? What is fiscal deficit? So there are many terminologies also comes related to the economy. So we will discuss about that thing also, and also we will discuss about the what are the possible mains question they may ask in this upcoming 2024 mains. Because when it comes to the mains question, it is easy to guess based on the recent issues only they will make the questions. So you can easily guess what are the major issues happening today, based on which only there will be the question. For example, there is issues related to the Thailand versus China. So Taiwan versus China. When it comes to Taiwan, US is supporting the Taiwan. So why the US is just getting into that place and they are trying to support Taiwan? What is the major benefit for US? That things you have to know, based on which only there will be the question. And also there is the issues related to the China. When it comes to China have the policy called as debt trap diplomacy. So there may be questions related to that also. And also there is the issues between the India and Maldives. And also there is the recently there was an agreement between the India and UAE related to the nuclear deal, nuclear power plants. So there are many possible ways you can easily guess the upcoming mains question. So you can easily decode it. So the thing is, you can easily decode that, but how you will find this is the question they are going to ask in this upcoming mains? That is also easy one. First of all, you have to prepare in the 360-degree manner. When it comes to India, UAE, you have to prepare it related to the security purpose, economical purpose, and then cultural purpose, and also the distance. How the trade will going to happen, either through the ships or else through the air force. Okay, so airways or ships, that is the thing you need to know. And also when it comes to certain trade related things means which are the major busiest routes, whether India have to go through that route to connect to UAE. So these are the simple things you have to prepare it. And also when it comes to UAE, what are the border sharing country? What are the advantages you are going to grab from that? All these things are more important while you are preparing it. So if you are going to do this means you can easily crack this mains exam. So idea is so simple. You can easily decode the issues. Based on the issues, you can easily think about what are the possible questions the UPSC may ask. This is the simple way to decode the questions. When it comes to economy, Recently, India was once again tagged as the fastest growing economy by the World Bank and IMF. And also many credit rating agencies also said that India is the fastest growing economy. So there may be the questions related to that. So for example, India is the fastest growing economy. In that sense, what are the potential benefits India is going to grab? That may be the possible question. Or else there may be the questions like earlier, same this quarterly, related to the past 1 year, there is the growth rate of 7.4%, but now it is 6.7. Why this slowdown in that Indian economy? That may be the possible question they may ask. Okay, and then or else they may be asked the questions related to the informal sector, because India's major economic GDP contributors, this is this informal sector. So there may be questions related to that also. So you can easily guess what are the possible questions they may ask when it comes to mains. In comparing to the prelims, it is way more easy to guess the question, what are the possible questions they may ask. Okay, so all the things will be discussed here. Okay, so let's begin the session. Okay, this question was asked in 2014 and it is 12.5 mark question. But still this question have a relevance in today's also. Okay, in present day also this question have certain relevance. UPSC have a certain idea of repeating the question. Earlier in the prelims into 2022 also they repeated certain questions, and 2023 also they repeated certain questions. So either the same question they may repeatedly ask, or else based on the crux of that question they will rephrase certain things and they may ask the question. In such a way this question have certain relevance. So we will discuss this thing. Okay, capitalism has guided the world economy to unprecedented prosperity. Full stop. However, it often encourages the short-sightedness and contribute to the wide disparities between the rich and the poor. In this light, would it be correct to believe and adopt capitalism for bringing the inclusive growth in India? Discuss. So, first thing is about a discuss type question. So when it comes to discuss means the answer should be in a 360-degree manner. What is this 360-degree manner? Which means you have to discuss about every possible things, whether it is possible for India, or else what are the challenges for the capitalism in India, or else what are the limitations we are going to face, what are the consequences we have to grab, what are the positive things they may happen, whether there is a possibilities or opportunity for the growth of the capitalism in India. So in such a way, you have to speak about a 360-degree manner about this capitalism with inclusive growth. This is the most important thing. When it comes to discuss means, it is like you are discussing certain topic with your friend. In this manner, if it is discussion means, you will speak about n number of things related to that. So that is the way you have to answer for this question when it comes to discuss. Or else for a different side, okay, I am making it as a command, which means you can say that either capitalism can be adopted in India for inclusive growth, yes, or you can say that no, it is not possible, and you have to say no and you have to justify it. That is the command type question. In that command or opinion, you have to take only one side. But when it comes to discuss means, you have to say about all the things, and also you have to justify it, and also you have to conclude it in the manner that which is the most possible one for India. In such a way you have to answer it. Or else, if this discuss is replaced with critically examine, means you have to say that what are the challenges for the capitalism with connected to the inclusiveness, with connected to this inclusive growth or inclusiveness in India. So the subheading should have the thing called as challenges or limitations. So this is the way you have to change your answer based on this end terminology. That is the most important thing when you are going to answer the question, because this terminology will decide what are the subheadings you have to use, and also what are the things the examiner will ask from you. Okay, so the examiner will examine your paper based on that subheadings only. So you know that the question is asking this thing, you are correctly answered it or not. Okay, so based on the terminology, the subheadings will change. Based on the subheadings, the answer also going to change. That is the important things about this UPSC terminologies when it comes to mains. Okay, next. So it is a discuss type. Second, this thing is speaking about the capitalism. So capitalism has guided to the world economy to the unprecedented prosperity. Yes, due to the capitalism only, the growth of US happened. Even present day, China is following the capitalism, but in some different manner. Even though they are a strenuous follower of this socialism and communism, now they are aligned with the capitalism. So it created the unprecedented prosperity. Yes, but however, it often encourages the short-sightedness and wide disparities. When it comes to capitalism, there will be the major thing called as divide between the rich and poor. That is the major inequality issue we will face. When it comes to inequality, means it is not only about a rich and poor, there will be the inequality created between the genders. Gender inequality may happen. Also, there may be the alienation of the certain social groups. Monopoly may be happens. Creation of slums will happen. Degradation of environment will happen. So all these things are going to, at the end of the day, it is all the things are going to affect the certain low level of people, certain poor communities. Because consider that if there is a huge environmental degradation and there is a city is polluted, in that scenario, the person who are rich, he will have the air purifier in his home, and he have the healthy life with the ACs. Okay, so he will have certain healthy life. But when it comes to the poor, he have to survey on that polluted region. So that is the disparity. Okay, so capitalism will contribute to these disparities. So at the end of the day, all the issues is going to end up in the certain community who are in the poverty line, below poverty line. They are going to affect due to this capitalism. In this sense, the question is asking that, would it be correct to believe and adapt capitalism to bring inclusive growth in India? So there are the positive things about the capitalism, there are the negative things about the capitalism. At this scenario, whether you will say whether India can adapt the capitalism to create an inclusive growth. It's up to you, you have to say the answer. But here the thing is, the major issue is they are asking about the inclusive growth. So, which means benefit for all. Or else no one is left behind. That is the thing about that inclusive growth. In this scenario, if there is a capitalism, means definitely there will be the disparities. Definitely there will be the inequalities. In this scenario, whether the capitalism is not going to create any inclusive growth in the society. And when it comes to India, which has a huge population and the major populations are in the below poverty line, it will create this gap in widening manner. It will enhance this gap when it comes to India. So in that scenario, you have to give the answer in such a way that capitalism will create a chaos in this India. It will widen this disparity. So it is better to avoid it. That is the way of answer you can give. For that, first thing we have to discuss about the introduction part. The question is majorly speaking about the capitalism. First. Second is it is speaking about the inclusive growth. So your answer will be, your introduction will be either related to the capitalism or related to the inclusive growth, or else you can give the answer in mixing of both the things. Like you can say that post LPG era, okay, post 1991 LPG era or economic reform, India become as a mini capitalist economy. That thing created the major disparities in the society. So which means you are answering about the capitalism, at the same time you are speaking about the inclusive growth, which means if there is a disparities means that is not an inclusive society. So in the way also you can answer it. So either you can say what is capitalism, or else what is inclusive growth, or else you can speak about the LPG era, post 1991. So this is the way you have to address this question. First thing is intro related to either capitalism or inclusive growth, or else post 1991 economic reform. So what is capitalism? Which means most of all the trade, industries, means of productions are owned by the private individual. Okay, so that is simple thing about the capitalism. So it is the privately owned things. Like the consumer have the major freedom in buying the products. There is the more access to the products. Based on the demand, the supply will be created. There is a free market. There is no interference of the government. So these are the things about the capitalism. And also there will be more rights to the private players. So these are the certain things about the capitalism. Or else you can speak about the laissez-faire economy, which means it is a free economy. Laissez-faire meaning itself to leave alone, to allow do to, which means the private have their own way of doing the business. There is minimal or no interference from the government. That is called as laissez-faire economy. This thing also you can speak when it comes to capitalism. Or else you can speak about the wealth of nation concept of invisible hand. Adam Smith is the economic philosopher. He said that invisible hand, which means the economy is running in the invisible hand. No one is going to control it. That is also you can say. Which means consider that. For example, I will give the certain example. There are certain group of peoples, okay, they are demanding certain products, A. So they are demanding certain products, so the product's value is going to increase, which means inflation. At certain time the inflation is going high, rocketing, it is higher level. So this population is going to demand a other product called as B. So automatically the demand for this product is increasing, the demand for this product is going to decreasing, which means no one is going to control this price increasing of this A, okay, at least no one is going to control this price increase of the B. Only the people who are demanding is changing, which means this is called as invisible hand. So the people are controlling the demand and supply or the price change. So the government is not going to interfere into it. That is called as invisible hand. But Adam Smith said that if the economy is being run with the demand and supply or with the invisible hand, means that there is no issue will happen in the economy. That is his justification. But yes, up to certain limit this is right. Everyone agreed it. But when it comes to 2008 crisis, economic crisis, actually this 2008 economic crisis happened in US. This scenario is, which means at the time period of laissez-faire economy, at the time period of the capitalism, there is a financial crisis happened in 2008, which means this invisible hand is not the foolproof method. So there is certain need of controlling factor when it comes to economy. That is what this capitalism first time learned certain new thing. Even though there is a laissez-faire model or a capitalist model, there need certain regulations. Okay, so that is the short-sightedness of this capitalism. So in that, after this intro about the capitalism or inclusive growth or the post 1991 era, you have to speak about all this thing, about laissez-faire economy, about invisible hand, and the 2008 crisis. So in that way, you are giving the justification for this often encourages short-sightedness and wide disparities. So in such a way, you are giving the answers to that statement. This is how you have to address the question. Next, when it comes to the short-sightedness and disparities, what are the disparities? First is social inequalities, unfair distribution of wealth and power, tendency towards a market monopoly or oligopoly, materialism, counter-revolutionary wars, and then cultural exploitations, materialism, repression of the workers, social alienation, and economic instability. Because when there is no one is going to control this economy, means definitely it will create the inequality in the society, and also it will create the economic instability. That may end up in the fall of the economic slowdown of the country also may happen. So these are the issues may happen based on this capitalism. After this, you have to speak about whether India can adapt this capitalism to create an inclusive growth. So in this scenario, you have to speak about various other factors like India's inequalities. First thing, you have to quote about the Oxfam report. The Oxfam report said that 1% of the Indian people, 1% of India's richest people holding the maximum more than 50% of the Indians' wealth. 1%, or else you can say that 10% of the India's richest people holding the 90% of the Indian people's wealth, which means other 90% of the population holding only 10% of the wealth. That is the reality of the India. So you have to speak about that things, and also you can speak about the Gini coefficient, Lawrence curve. All these things is speaking about the economic inequalities or economic disparities in India. You have to quote this thing, based on which only they will justify that you are giving a correct answer or not. So you have to give these statements as the answer. This is the most important thing they will expect from you. Afterwards, you have to say that already there is this much of inequalities and disparities in this scenario. Adapting capitalism is not going to give any outcome. So such a way you have to finish it, and then you have to conclude it as based on which our forefathers, our constitution makers go with the mixed economic concept, which means we are getting certain good things from the capitalism, and also we are getting certain good things from the socialism, and we are creating a thing called as socialist economy, or else neo-socialist economy, or else a mixed economy. So we are in a mixed economy, which means there will be the private player, there will be the public player. So there will be the bill, at the same time there will be another private player. There will be the Airtel, at the same time there will be the BSNL. So this is called as mixed economy. And also when it comes to mixed economy, there will be certain regulating agency. For example, in telecom there is a TROI. When it comes to the share market, others getting investment means there will be a regulator later called as SEBI. So when it comes to bank, there is a thing called as RBI. So they are the regulating agencies. They will regulate both the private player and the public player. So that is the India is following. We are in the mixed economy. So this is the way you have to conclude your answer. So this is the 360-degree approach for this answer. So if you have all these things in your answers means for a 12.5 mark there will be a maximum mark of around 5. That is the maximum mark they will put. So you will get that 5 mark. So this is how you have to address any question. Okay. Thank you.